Jeremy, thank you for joining.
You're welcome.
This is the third interview, and this is one I've been very excited about just because of how much our team and your loan officer just absolutely adores you. So thank you for letting me interview you today. First question, and I don't for the audience watching, I don't know the answers to a lot of this. Jeremy and I, we don't spend a lot of time together, so I'm kind of excited to know what did you go to school for?
I studied Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major in banking and finance.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You're the first person that's actually been in banking and finance. I think Kay, she was hospitality. Charisse was computer engineering. Did you know you were going to get into some sort of mortgage related field, or how did you find out about U.S. mortgages in the first place?
When I was in college, we have like subjects like financial management 7, and then one of my professor was discussing about all the large bank, and then that got my interest. So I promised to myself that I will be joining one of the largest bank, which I
Gotcha.
did, which I
Yeah,
did.
yeah, that's awesome. And was that all right? So that was a course, and you said to yourself, "That's what I'm going to do."
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible. And so, how did you do it? So you graduated college? What was the next step?
After I graduate, of course, I look for a job, and then I was hopeless by that time because it's really hard to find a job when you recently graduate. And then when I was heading home, I saw there was a long queue, and then I asked the people around, and then they told me there's a massive hiring for that particular large bank that I wanted to join.
Gotcha. That's incredible. What was the name of the bank?
JP Morgan and Chase.
Oh, sure know that. That's my bank. I actually bank at JP Morgan and Chase.
Ooh.
They're the biggest. They're the biggest, I think, right now in terms
Yes.
of assets under management. I still think they're the biggest bank.
Yes.
What year was that? What year are we talking?
I'm sorry.
What year was that you actually got there?
2014, way back 2014.
Okay, all right. So you're coming up on 10 years. In 5 months. I'll be 10 years in the mortgage industry.
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible. That is incredible. So walk me through. So you graduate college, go to JP Morgan Chase. Walk me through your very first role. What is it that they had you do?
My very first role is an indexer. So sorting of documents like deed notes, income documents, asset, title appraisal. So I know the document since from the very beginning.
Yeah. And did you actually have to analyze the documents at that stage yet, or at that point were you just
No,
reviewing and putting into the right sections? And
not yet. I'm just sorting the document, just putting in the right folder. And then every year, I'm trying to apply for a higher position. That's when I joined funding, closing. I became QA. And then after 4 years, I became an underwriter.
Gotcha. All right. So let's talk about funding, closing, and QA. What was that like? So you went from sorting documents to now you've got your first promotion. What did you do there?
In funding, we're doing the balancing of the closing disclosure
Mhm.
and loan estimate. We're checking, and then on the QA part, I'm doing most of the the critical stage of checking if they did wrong or not. So we are the one who's sending the error for
Gotcha.
them.
Gotcha. Let's go. I want to talk about the CD and the LE. That's a huge jump from going from indexing to balancing LEs and CDs. I mean, I know one of the hardest things for me when I became a processor in the industry was learning fees and how fees work. You've got your sections, you've got different taxes and prorations, and all these things happening at the same time. How did you? What was there a training course? They all put you in a classroom. Kind of how did that training work to get to understand how fees work?
Yes, there's training. I think it's a 1 or 2 months training for you to learn about the balancing of the CD and the LE, and then you will doing shadowing. So you
Mm-hmm.
learn more about the process before they land you on the floor. At first, it's hard, but as time goes by, you will learn step by step. It's yes, it's you will learn step by step. People will help you. They will train you. It's the training is like spoon feeding, like step by step until you got it.
And then you move into 4 years later in that role. Then you apply and you get the underwriter position. Is that right?
Yes,
That must have
I
been
applied for
exciting.
underwriting. Yeah, the most exciting.
Now, was that the most exciting one of all?
Yes, because underwriting is very challenging role. It's not boring. Like every day, you'll never get the same scenario. So
Mm,
every day for me is a new learning for being an underwriter.
gotcha, that makes sense. And did you know that you wanted to eventually be an underwriter? Is that what a lot of people are trying to do?
I decided to apply as an underwriter because it's a challenging role.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so you applied for an underwriter. Did that come with better compensation as well? Is that like one of the better compensated roles that you've been in?
Yes,
That's
yes,
awesome. Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah, that's right.
2 times up. Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. So then you go into this underwriting role. How hard was it? So you know you're at this point, you know documents pretty well because you indexed them. You know your LEs and CDs. But an underwriting role is actually totally different than LEs and CDs. You're dealing with guidelines. You're dealing with file structure. You're dealing with LTV and interest rates and DTIs and all these different things. What then was the training like for you to go and be an underwriter?
We have like 3 months training for being an underwriter. We also have our license. We need to pass 10 loan test case to get our license from Chase. It's
That's
hard, but I enjoy the training.
mhm.
Like they making us compute our compute the pay stub, everything, self-employment, pay stub, the bank statement, and then the credit, everything.
Wow, so cool. So you're actually, are you the one actually initiating the conditions, choosing which conditions?
Yes,
Huh, very cool.
creating, receiving the conditions.
Yeah, so cool. All right, so Finance America said, hey, you can work from home. You don't have to come back to the office. You can work from home.
Yes,
Gotcha. That's something a lot of people like about working at Broker VA.
yes, absolutely.
Why is that? Is that because the commute is so long?
Yes. When I was working at Chase, I used to commute like 4 hours before my shift and then another 2 hours after shift.
You used to commute 4 hours.
Heavy traffic. Yeah.
Oh my God. Were you in a car? Were you on a bus where you could at least read or something?
Bus.
You were on a bus. Okay.
Public, yes.
And what'd you do to pass the time? Did you read? You have a laptop with you? How did that work?
I sleep at the bus because I'm working at night, so I'm going to sleep.
Gotcha. That's incredible. So you're 4 hours. Okay. So you're almost then at that point, you're working your shift and then you're commuting. The only thing you're really doing at that point is working. Is that right?
Yes.
There's not a lot of time for other things. And are you working 5 days a week when it came to Chase?
Yes.
Gotcha.
No
That's
time for anything,
gotcha. Yeah.
not even travel.
Yeah. Yeah. So they wanted you back in the office and they didn't want to let you work from home.
Yes.
But Finance America said, hey, come to us. You can work from home.
Yes.
Okay. How did you like it? How did
Um,
Finance America and Chase?
it's pretty similar, but the work in American Financial Network is more easy because it's like automated.
Gotcha.
Under limited condition, and then it's like comparance there. Double check the income calculation and asset.
Yeah, I've heard that before. So compare and stare for the audience is when there's an automation, there's some sort of system
Yes,
that actually does the majority of the work for you. So that the only thing that you're doing then is you're basically a checker at that point. You're just making sure everything makes sense.
yes.
And I,
Actually, it's boring. For me, it's boring.
at this point, I guess I would come back up to the Chase as well. What type of loans were you underwriting when you were with Chase? Conventional government loans, FHA, non-QM. What was your loan type?
Geez, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac conventional.
Okay, okay,
Same
got
with American Financial Network.
okay. That was conventional as well. So FHA and VA, not yet, right?
Yes,
Okay, and then non-QM, not yet. I think I know where you go
not
next.
yet.
Not yet. Okay, all right. So then Finance America, you leave there, and then you go to
Greenbacks.
yeah, that's
I
what
was pirated by Greenbacks.
yeah, awesome. And Greenbox is a totally different experience because it is non-QM loans,
Yes.
right?
Yes, it's really different. It's really difficult. There was a time like I was crying because the sales like shouted on me.
Oh, gotcha.
Uh,
What was so different about it? Or I guess obviously I know what's different about it. You're dealing with bank statement loans and DSCR loans and these different types of products.
yes.
What was the hardest part about that transition for you?
It's hard because it's a manual underwritten loan. So everything is manual. The computation, the review, the input of the data, it's manual. And then I get to learn self-employed by experience. We
Mhm,
don't have a training, so by experience, by guidelines.
mhm.
I learned everything. Actually, like 70% of underwriting knowledge, I learned it from Greenbox. I also learned to review title, insurance, and then appraisal documents.
I find that so incredible. I got to tell you, I remember when I first interviewed you and Kay, and not only did you guys know conventional loans, but you also knew how to underwrite 24, 12-month bank statement loans, DSCR loans. You knew these programs and you knew them well. I was floored. This was at the beginning of my journey with BrokerVA, with U.S. mortgage professionals in the Philippines, and I just couldn't imagine how much you guys know and how senior level resources you are. I mean, you really are compared to a U.S. based person. You are a senior type of underwriter who really knows so much. It's incredible how much you guys know. And then I think we finally got to meet, right?
Yes,
Gotcha. And how I can't remember specifically, but how did you find out? Did we find out about you and we contacted you, or how did you find out about Broker BA?
I think I was referred by Kay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think so too. So you were referred by Kay, and I think I interviewed her. She was my other. She was interview number one. She was the first person I interviewed. We talked to her about her green box experience as well. Let me ask you, what do you like about being at Broker VA?
There's a lot of thing I like about BrokerVA. It's a work from home setup.
Uh,
You guys are very appreciative. Like you care about the people. It's a work life balance, and then everyone is nice.
yeah, everyone's pretty nice, aren't they? Before, so for the audience, she just switched clients. She was with a client who just absolutely adored her, and then he, for all sorts of reasons that people have to go in a different direction, went in a different direction. Now she's with another one of our clients who's adding. It sounds like Jeremy processing activities to you also being her LOA. Is that correct?
Yes.
So then for the audience that wants to know how that works, so this is a perfect example. So you've got Jeremy, and Jeremy is a her background's in underwriting. She makes a fantastic LOA, and now she's being asked to not only be an LOA but help with processing on the back end, contract to close. Right, we call it contact to contract, LOA, contract to close. Tell us, Jeremy, what do you do in situations where you need help? What's your what have we given you or enabled you to be able to do?
I asked question to the trainer if they are actually available 24/7. They are very accommodating. They will give you tools, trainings, guidelines, and everything they know.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And then they'll walk through it with you, correct? You guys share screen.
Yes.
A lot of the
Share
stuff is there.
screen, yes. Shadowing, everything.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So for any candidates that are watching this and thinking to yourself, "Hey, I'm coming from a bank or I'm coming from a direct lender, and I don't know Arrive LOS, I don't know LendingPad LOS, I don't know lender wholesale portals, right? UWM, Rocket, these are things that are not going to be common for a lot of people. We will not only train you a quick training. This isn't a 2 3 months like it was at Chase. We're not putting you through quite that intensive of a training, but we will train you and ramp you on some of the basic systems. And then while you're working for your client, we actually have people that you can go to 24/7. To Jeremy's point, and you can get help. Hey, I was tasked with registering and disclosing this file in this new lender. I'm unsure of what to do. Can you help me? And we're going to go give you resources, hands-on enablement until you're proficient doing it yourself. And that's our whole goal here at Broker VA is to basically take people that are direct lender banking side and make them super successful when it comes to the broker side. I'm curious as to specifically at Broker VA for your the client that you were with for almost the better part of a year. What tasks and activities did he have you do?
The task for me, mostly are pre-qualifying, reviewing the income documents, asset, the credit, and initial application.
So did you get a notification then when a new loan would come in for you to pre-qualify?
Yes,
And how
there
did
will be
you
a pop-up unit notification.
gotcha. And then how did you you get the notification, you're gonna look at what the documents in the loan application that they filled out. If you needed additional documentation, how did you reach out to the borrower?
I reach out through the system. We have their like create quotation, ask a question to the borrower. Like everything is there. And then the borrower will reply. And I will receive it through email.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Then the borrower replies, you receive it. So he had like a system set up where you're communicating directly with the borrower through the actual
Yes.
software. So are you ever calling the borrower? Or are you just going basically by text and through the system and then email?
And no, I never had a chance to call the borrower.
Gotcha. Were there times that you wish you could call the borrower?
Yes. There are a lot of times, especially when you are asking conditions.
Hmm.
Like you specifically ask for this bank statement, period of bank statement, but they keep on sending the old one. So I want to call them and tell them that what we need is this coverage period of bank statement.
Hmm. And what would you do in those situations? Because a lot of loan officers would like their broker VA to also primarily text and email. But the question I always get is, well, then what happens if the conversation really would be best over phone? What do you do then?
I'm calling my loan officer and explain everything. Like these borrowers keep on sending the wrong documents. Can you explain to him or her that what we need is this specific period of time?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's what I say is a lot of times loan officers, if they don't have US based support that can pick up the phone, the loan officer needs to supplement the work that you're doing with what I call high touch phone calls. So the initial calling the borrower in the beginning to have them fill out the loan application, going over the rate and fees after the pre-qualification is done, helping with tricky conditions, right? These are areas where
Yes.
loan officers have an opportunity to develop rapport, but it also enables them to pick up the phone calls that for loan officers that don't want you to call, that then you're not the one making the phone calls, the loan officers calling themselves. Would you have preferred to call, or were you appreciative that you didn't have to call?
I prefer to call them so I can explain them what I really need. So the condition will not be, back and forth because I know it will irritate them. Like I already sent this condition to them. Why are they asking again?
Yeah, 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 that's right. And then they're just not reading it right, so they think that they've already sent it.
Yes.
Really, you're trying to clarify. Yeah, so for those of you watching this, you can absolutely have your broker VA, just like Jeremy, also call. And obviously, as the viewers can tell, Jeremy, you have excellent English. I say this all the time. I tried to learn a second language, Spanish. I tried so hard that I went and lived in a foreign country for a year and took Spanish lessons every single day, and I still could not do it. I'm not good at language, and I tried as hard as I could. I had a very, very difficult time. I overthought it, and I just never got good with it. So I have an enormous amount of respect for people that know two languages. With that said, Jeremy, as the audience can also tell, has an accent. So there are some things you can do. Number one, you can have them text and email with their primary communication, 95% of communication. You can also have them call. And one of the things that we recommend to loan officers is just tell your borrowers, hey, I have an incredible assistant. They are Filipino, and don't let their accent fool you. They're an amazing mortgage professional. Everything that they're asking you for is what I need. So please get and respond to them as quickly as possible with what they're asking for. So you can set it up that way so that if you're looking for somebody that feels free making phone calls, telling borrowers, hey, Mr. Borrower, get it together, I need this, then they have the freedom and the right to do so. Okay, so you get all the documents that you need. And now let's say you've got your income, your asset statements, you have enough to do the pre-qualification. What happens after it's done? Did you schedule a meeting with your loan officer to review it with him?
No, because he trusts me so much. that he's sending it for pre-approval. We will send it to the lender.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. So it gets done, and then he trusts you. And how long did it take to develop that trust? How many pre-qualifications did you have to do before he knew that you could do it on your own?
Think a month or two.
Okay.
Like he trusts me so much because whenever I'm sending him an email regarding the file,
Mhm.
everything was there. The explanation for the income, the explanation for the asset, everything was there.
Gotcha.
So he will not ask me any question. so I'm
Gotcha.
sending everything
And do you put those notes inside the LOS, or do you send that in an email write-up? How do you
in an
exchange?
email.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, and then he just runs with it from there.
Yes.
All right, so now with your new client, tell us what it is that you're doing for them and how it differs from what you were doing before.
Um, the difference is I'm ordering now credit. I think also the value VOE and appraisal. I will be the one who's ordering.
Gotcha.
That's the difference. But the prequel, it's mostly the same.
Gotcha. Have you ordered your first appraisal yet?
Not yet. I'm currently in a trading period.
So it's so easy, Jeremy. It's so for someone like you, God, is it going to be easy? Same with the VOE. Have you ever ordered a VOE before from the company?
no.
Also very easy. Man, oh man. You can order it directly from the LOS. You should be able to just click a button and it sends the VOE with everything you need. And if you ever need any help with the work number and all these other job verification, then you just got to let Casey know and she'll help you. They're a pain in the you know what is what they are. One of the things I want to do in these interviews is send this to loan officers who are asking the question, what can I do to do my part the best? So I talk to a lot of people who have never hired somebody before. They do everything themselves, right? They pre-qual themselves, they process themselves, they're trying to call real estate agents themselves, they're trying to get borrowers themselves. And all of a sudden they call me and they're saying, hey, I'm burnt out. I'm working 12 hours, 15 hours a day. A lot of my deals aren't going through. I'm doing too much. I need some help, but I've never hired somebody before and they're nervous and they want to do a good job, right? It's going to be abundantly clear to them after watching these interviews that our broker VAs are really solid people, and there's some expectation of the employer of the client to do a good job. Let's start with your first client. What did your first client do for you, and how did they manage the relationship with you that made it so that you guys and I will say you guys really appreciated each other more so than most broker VAs and loan officers. You really did a good job. But what did he do as well that helped you out?
My loan officer is very organized. He has step-by-step process, and he is very clear on what his goal. So he know what he wants, and he also share it with me, and we're working as a team.
Gotcha. And when you say he's very organized, did he have everything pretty much organized for you when you started? Did he develop that along the way? How did
Yes, at the very beginning, like I want, for example, at this, whenever you review a file, I want this step by step.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So was that on a document? It was just step by step by step by step what you needed to do?
Yes, by document and by step.
Oh, by step. Okay. And did he do recordings for you or did you guys share screen?
Yes,
Okay.
I did a lot of recordings at Loom.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we recommend is people to record on Loom.
Yes,
And then you said that you guys work as a team. What system did you use to communicate primarily?
we have Slack.
Okay.
The
All
Slack.
right. Did you guys do a lot of video chatting or screen sharing?
E Not really, but he always call me on Slack. But if we have an urgent file, he's calling me on Zoom, and then he's sharing video, sharing screen.
Gotcha. Yep, yep, that makes sense. Okay, and was he working when you were working?
Mostly with me.
Yeah, yeah, but during your work hours, was he always available for the most part?
Yes, he's always available 24/7, even end of the shift. And I was like, "Oh, I need something on this file." And then I'm going to send him a chat and then he will respond. Go home, go to sleep. We can work tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, sometimes some people, we work hard. All right. So for the audience, that's one of the most important things is if you are looking to get a broker VA and have somebody support you, it's important that you're not looking to supplement that time that you're getting back with spending more hours on the golf course, right? One of the things that works really well that I've identified in every single client that really, really becomes more productive with a broker VA is that they're going to work just as many hours and they're going to work just as hard. They're just going to work that many hours with higher value tasks that they could do, which is typically selling, right? That's typically being out in the world meeting people, but they're available to their broker VAs during their broker VA shift. Um, Tell me a little bit more about your loan officer. Is there anything else you can think of um, that he did that really inspired you to work hard for him?
He's really nice. And when people is nice, it's really, really hard to upset them.
Yeah,
And I love what I'm doing. That's why I also want him to succeed.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you said that he had shared his goals with you. What were his goals? Like, can you think back when you first started with him to where you ended up? What were the goals that he was sharing with you along the way?
The big goals that we had is to fund and close loan as much as we can.
Yeah, that's a good goal.
Yes, that's the goal.
Gotcha. Okay. And he's already done some great things for you. Yes, you want to tell the audience maybe some of the things that your new client, even before you guys started together, what transpired?
She sent me a flower and chocolate actually as a welcome gift, which I really appreciate.
Yeah,
Also, her team gave me a warm welcome. Like everyone say, "Welcome to the team" on
yeah,
my first day.
yeah.
She's very appreciative. She's so sweet. She's very organized, and she has this workflow, which is I really like because it's really organized. Like who's doing this and who's doing that. She knows what she wants. Also, like this is our goal.
Hmm. And what is her goal? Do you
Yes. To it's hard
know?
to conquer the universe. No, I'm just kidding. Um, to fund a lot of loans.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Heck
that's
yeah,
why she hired me to fund a lot of loans.
yeah. That's a good goal. If you're a loan officer out there, that's a good way to end this interview. If you're a loan officer out there and your goal in 2024, I'm doing this interview in December of 2023. If your goal is to fund a lot of loans, we have staff that can help you do that at an affordable price. In a very difficult market, that's what people need. We're bridging the gap between expensive US based support and then trying to do it on your own, right? Our whole belief is that brokers have a lot of choice when it comes to rate and lenders, but they don't have enough choice when it comes to operational support. That is what we do, and that's what we're good at. Jeremie, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Yes, you're welcome.